Welcome to the channel. Today we are going to walk through basically the changes that are coming in for 2025. My goals for 2025, what I'm focusing on, what I'm working on, and just give you an insight into kind of where the year's gone and what's coming next. So the first thing that we're going to go through is the rebrand of FBU. Now, FBU, Fitness Business Uni, was branding that was brought in as a team-based decision a while ago. It wasn't something I particularly loved. I don't think it really reflects my personal values, my thought processes, even the way I build business. It's a little bit generic and for everyone. Now, if you've met me or you've watched enough of my content, you will know that I'm not for everyone. I have very strong views on excellence and standards and how people should push themselves. And I've wanted for a while to do a rebrand that really kind of reflected high standards, pushing for more, people that wanted to move into the higher levels of business, to be in that top 1%, to be the best coach that you could be, to be the best business owner that you could be. And I've been sat on this branding for about 6 months. The team at Digital Bear did it. I was really happy with it. They came to meet us maybe about 4 months ago to kind of finalize everything. We went through like a full brand kit. If you ever get a chance to do any work with them, I would highly recommend it. But we came up with the new branding. Now, the brand moving forward after we do all the graphics and the images and get everything plastered out there will be called Leverage. The reason why I went for Leverage is because that's genuinely the way I build businesses. That is the way I build structure. That is almost the way I build my life. Everything is about getting to the next level so you can reach the next thing and either use finances or money or other people or systems to create leverage. So you do the hard work, you get yourself to that position, and then you create leverage so you can step yourself back, get some more time back, and then you go to the next level. And that's essentially how I build businesses. It's about coming in, sprinting your ass off to get yourself to 10 grand a month, then using some of the money from the 10 grand a month to maybe buy back a lot of the manual work that you're doing. Maybe then, you profit 8, you spend 2, but then the next level that gives you is 20 grand a month. And then when you get to 20 grand a month, you probably spend 5 or 6, you make 15, you go to the next level, which is like 50. You probably spend 20, you profit 30, you go back. Next level is 100K a month. And that is genuinely the way that I program business growth. And that's the way that I've always done it. So it suits me down to the ground, that branding. And it's something that I can really get behind, and it's something that I really understand. Whereas the FBU thing was a little bit generic and it was too for everyone, which isn't really my kind of vibe. Again, I don't think business is for everyone. I definitely don't think building an online business is for everyone. And I want to have that branding to make sure that people kind of know what the vibe is about and what they should expect when they come in. So with that rebrand will become some rejigging of the programs that we offer. And there's going to be 2 main programs. One is our entry-level program. So for coaches under 6 figures a year, and that will be the 6-figure blueprint. And then there'll be a program for people over 6 figures a year, which will be the 7-figure blueprint, which will encompass everything from kind of 10 to 12 grand a month all the way up to 100. Usually around 100, 150 is like where most people top out. Before they just realize that they don't really want to scale a massive company that far. We've had coaches in that program that have done up to 250 grand a month, which is massive for a fitness program. So I'll include everything that I've ever learned about hiring teams, sales, lead generation, ads, scaling a business, all of that stuff will be in there. And then all of the foundational elements of lead generation, content, sales, coaching, delivery, retention, referrals, all of that stuff will be in the 6-figure blueprint, and that will give us a nice break between the 2 programs. But we'll be making sure that everyone that comes to work with us will at least be striving for 6 figures. I don't agree that you should be making 3 grand a month working in a business. If you're going to make 3 grand a month, you might as well work for someone else. It's way less stress. So I think, again, everything kind of works along with the vibe of where I want it to be and how I want it to perform. And then the final thing of building out that system. So we've got the rebrand, we've got the redesign of the 2 programs and the kind of process through that. And then the third thing was building out the team that's then going to deliver those 2 programs. Now, for part of the year, we've tested running a more like community group-based model where people do a course, they get some group calls with me, they get some call support if they need it. And I weighed that up against the one-to-one support that we have in other programs. And my conclusion is that one-to-one support by far for us as a business and for the clients massively outperforms even the group and some one-to-one support style coaching. Now, this is different from nearly every other business program that you'll see out there. I don't think another business program does one-to-one the way that we do it, because there's two things that happen, okay? When people launch business coaching or launch business mentoring or masterminds or whatever they want to call it, they go one of two ways. They either start doing one-to-one themselves and then they quickly get full and then they stop, which is what happens with a lot of people that first launch. They'll go, it's one-to-one coaching, and then they'll take on to one-to-one clients, realize how much work it is for them as the CEO, and then they'll just stop doing it. Or they'll pretend it's one-to-one, which is what a lot of programs do. They'll pretend you get one-to-one support and accountability, but in reality, what you actually get is a Facebook group and someone that's sort of in charge of making sure you don't complain. Now, I hate that model. And I'm in masterminds and programs with other people that run similar businesses. A lot of them, the names you probably know, they're probably competitors and all that stuff. They're in the fitness business coaching space. And they make posts within those programs about how they basically lie to people and say that it's one-to-one coaching and say that it's them doing the coaching, but they actually just throw them in a Facebook group and they have some kind of support that deals with any client issues. That is not one-to-one coaching in my eyes. It's not what people want. It's not what people need. You need somebody that's been there and done it, walking them through week by week exactly what they need to be doing, exactly what they need to be focusing on, reviewing sales calls, reviewing content, setting out the strategy for the month. And our one-to-one service will be based around that. It will be based around weekly calls, going through individual parts of the business to make sure they're all developing and improving. And it's my job now to build out the team to do that. So we've probably got capacity for about 25 more clients, which should do us half of January, 3/4 of January, until we're kind of oversubscribed on that. So it's going to be my job at the start of the year to build out a more robust team to be able to handle more sales. We've had to slow sales down a part of this year due to not having enough staff to cover the program the way that we wanted. That was one of the reasons why I tested the group program to see whether we could get around that bottleneck. But I just don't like it. I don't like it. It's not very me. It's not my values. I believe business should be data-driven decisions. It should be knowing exactly what the next step is, looking at the data, assessing what's going wrong, and then fixing it. And new business owners left to their own devices aren't good enough at reading that data based off a group scenario. They need one-to-one help in order to do that. And they need somebody that knows how to read the data to show them how to do it. So that's the process I will be working through. So you'll be seeing probably a good 4 or 5 coaches hired into the program Q1, which is a massive task to undertake, making sure everyone's up to scratch. My diary as a CEO will be heavily based around training and onboarding and hiring for the first half of the year, but done correctly. And this is what I always say to my clients that come in and are ready to hire. The time that you put in at the start of that process will normally pay dividends later down the line. It's like planting a seed. When you hire a staff member, like, you can't expect to just go buy a tree. You've got to get it in the ground, you've got to water it, you've got to look after it, you've got to make sure it gets the right things in order to become the thing that you need it to be. So that's the first part of 2025. So yeah, that's the process that we're working through. So the rebrand will be coming. You'll start hearing more about the division of the two programs and what's involved in both. And you'll be seeing a lot more staff and people hired into the business to help support the clients on a one-on-one basis. And that's pretty much everything. There's lots of other goals throughout my life and around my business, but those are the ones that are most important to you. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what's going on and how things are going to change as we move forward. And if there's any questions, just drop them in the comments and I'll answer them as I go by.